My sermon title this morning is Moving Toward a Godless Society. So it could be tough. I don't know. I think probably not for us. This is preaching to the choir, but enlightening you and making you realize the world we live in. It's crazy because whenever you get a sermon written, you get great illustrations if you want them. You know, they're there. And this is kind of crazy because what was really crazy, and I don't know if any of you watched Pastor John Hagee, his sermon last week matched my sermon last week, the one that he had on TV, which was probably a week delayed, but that amazes me because I have found, being on the radio and listening to other preachers, that there will be a theme that will be preached all over America on a given week or weeks of time. It's amazing to me, makes me feel kind of good like I'm hearing it too, but Brother Hagee gave me a great illustration this week, moving toward a godless society. This sermon was in the books before that all broke, but I found it interesting. Let me give you my illustration now. If I say we're moving toward a cashless society, cashless, you probably all have got to understand and agree with that. How many of you have a debit card? You know what a debit card is? How many of you have a debit card? Not a lot of you? Or you just don't want to raise your hand. You're afraid I'm about to say something terrible about you. Where's my daughter? Is she in here? You got a debit card? Do you? Boy. Sign of the Antichrist, Court. I don't know if you know it. Sign of the Antichrist. Oh, everybody. Well, I don't have one. I don't like to lose control, man. And see, well, if I went and used a debit card and didn't call her on the phone and say, please detract so much money from the checking account, whoo, it would be a war at my house. So we don't have a debit card. We write checks, tear them out. If you've seen the little commercial where everybody's going in clockwork, we're the ones that throw the kink in the works because we write checks. But you can understand, man, if you've got a credit card or a debit card and it's lost, you make one phone call and you have no risk. If you drop a pocket full of cash, somebody's going to have a party and it isn't going to be you. It's gone. Cash works that way. So we understand that there are benefits from going cashless. Can I tell you that there are some people that live in the United States of America and other parts of the world that have the exact same attitude about God? Listen to what I'm telling you. There are people who believe that if we could get rid of the idea of God, that our country would be better off. Now, you don't have to believe that, but I'm going to tell you this in just a minute. I believe we live in a world that blames many of the problems on Christianity. Isn't that weird that Christians get blamed for the problems of the world? Let me give you a couple of them. Number one is terrorism. Terrorism. Yeah, that's... Why do you think people would want to attack the United States of America? Why would people want to kill us when we do so much good around the world? Not in their estimation. I told somebody the other day, we're just going to have to start dropping bombs on everybody that don't like us. I said, the only fear is they might call us the great Satan if we do that. He said, they already do. I said, that's my point. We're not going to change them any by dropping a few pills around the nations or around the world, so might as well just go ahead and give them a reason to call us the great Satan. Why would you choose the word Satan? If you were a terrorist and you want to call America something bad, why would you choose the word Satan? You know where Satan came from? That book right there. If we're the great Satan, they're using our book against us. Isn't that amazing? The real reason that terrorists want to attack and kill us is because of our support for Israel. They have said that. The little dude right up there in the picture, not the thinker, but the other one, he just said in a recent taped release that as long as we hold the position that we want to keep Palestine from living in Israel, they will bomb us. Do you know what this book says? Pray for peace in Jerusalem. That's a Christian position. It's a godly position. And as long as we hold it, we will be attacked by some people in the world. High oil prices. Man alive, that's our fault too. High oil prices are our fault, not because we consume so much as church members, but because the world's oil is controlled by mostly Islamic or communist or at least socialist countries. They've got us right where they want us, and I can't really say that I've ever felt like we've had them right where we want them. I say things from time to time that preachers shouldn't say. It'll probably end up on YouTube, and John McCain will reject my endorsement. I could care less. Oh, yeah. See, I want to see a few Arab sheiks eat sand for about a month. That's just my own opinion. I have no hatred. I have no bitterness. I want them all to get saved. But they're godless right now, and they're killing us, so I say let them eat sand. That's just a personal opinion. That doesn't come from this book. This book says love your enemies. Pray for them. I do. I pray for those people, man. I pray for that he's dead now. I hope my prayers had some avail. I pray for our enemies. I do that. But they kill us, and it's because we're Christians. So there's people who think if we just get rid of God and this concept of Christianity, we'll fix everything. Well, it goes on. Now I'm going to get to America. Did you know that the lack of cure for cancer and many other diseases, Christian fault, we're at fault. I'm going to give you a tough illustration, and some of you won't like it, and that's okay. And I realize we pray for a lot of people with cancer. If somebody came to you and you had some terrible disease and they said, if we could only do embryonic stem cell research, we could find a cure for that disease and you'd get well. Is that okay with you? That's what they did in recent elections, especially in Missouri. They made it a emotional tug of war where they said, people don't want those babies anyway. They're going to have abortions anyway, so might as well do something beneficial with those embryos and find the cure for cancer and other terrible diseases. And people who have family members who have those diseases and people with those diseases and people who don't give a rip about killing babies all voted for that. And it passed in Missouri, a very conservative state. And it broke my heart to hear it. Let me just change it just a little bit. Let's say you have some terrible debilitating disease and somebody comes up with a hypodermic needle and they say in this hypodermic needle is the cure to your disease. Can I pick on you? This lady right here suffers from a terrible disease and we pray for her and she's young and walks with a cane due to a debilitating disease. If somebody comes up and says we have the cure for this disease and here's a button, when you push that button it's going to put to death 10 children. But in order to prove how much you want to have a normal life, we're going to have you kill 10 children and then we'll give you the shot. Her head's already going, I don't think so. I don't think so. See, Christians' morals say, what kind of deal is that? You're going to kill babies and experiment on them? You can't buy makeup that's been tested on a live animal because of the fear of messing with a rabbit or something like that. But they can take babies and kill them and do research in order to find the cure for disease. All that is, let me tell you what that is. All that is a justification for abortion. That is killing babies. Hello, man. But we're the problem. And you, right now, see, if you don't agree with me, you're going, yeah, you're the problem, preacher. I thank you very much. Thank you. I'll take that criticism because that's the way I believe. I'm trying to avoid saying the word murder. I'm trying to avoid that word. But I'm telling you, ow. I'm going to go to the next one. I'll be right there all day. The general call for anarchy. The general call for anarchy. People today say, nobody's going to tell me how to live. Nobody's going to tell me how to live. That's called anarchy. No rules. That's what anarchy means. Any restraint due to morals must be based on an archaic system that is not relevant or needed in an enlightened era. This book right here. Why do you think murder is illegal? You think man's so smart that we come up with this clue that it ought to be illegal to kill people? No, if you go read Mr. Darwin, if you want to say we are simply evolved from the lower species, everybody else kills everybody else. All other species, they kill for food. They kill the weak. Man, one of the saddest things I learned early on in my life, don't buy a guppy tank for your kids. Do they even sell guppies anymore? Do they? Do they sell guppies? What